Hey you guys, welcome to my channel. This is going to be like a therapy session for anyone that struggles in this area. As you see with the title, it's called When You Always Want to See the Good in People. We're going to be addressing it and hopefully helping you to connect the dots to cure this type of tendency because I'm not going to say always and never for this, like it's always a bad thing, because it's not. But using it in an imbalanced way or having this tendency in an imbalanced way is definitely going to be to your detriment. Okay. So this is stemming from the comment section, which is important to leave comments because it lets me know, what might need to be addressed on a channel, especially when I've done so much content already. But people are still watching videos from years ago and learning from them and being helped by them. But Sunny 33333 left a comment recently and said, I always want to see the good in people, not just with partners, but also with friends, coworkers, even strangers, but I always get burned in the end. When will I learn? So I did comment under them and I let them know I will make a video to help with reinforcement because this can definitely be draining and dangerous. And that's very true, you guys. So welcome to your therapy session. I mean, if you need the therapy or just maybe you're a psychology junkie like me and you want to hear about this and learn more, maybe you don't struggle with it. But for those of you that do, I have a lot of insightful information to provide on this topic, but I will disclose that we are doing shadow work here. And as usual, on this channel, I'm not here to tell you exactly what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear out of love, okay? In hopes that it will reach you because you're in a willing place to receive, all right? So everything that I say on this list, it may not feel good to hear it, all right? But it's something that you need to hear if you struggle with this issue. And I hope that it will help you on your journey, all right? So with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and hop into the therapy session. I have so many notes on this because my mind just started really, I don't know, I was just getting a bunch of downloads. So I'm really thankful for that. So anyway, just the whole thought of it, you guys, when you hear someone say, I always want to see the good in people, what does that indicate? So psychologically, this could be indicating all types of things. So right now, what I'm going to do is share some of these reasons, and some of them may not have ever dawned on you, which would be great because that's what's going to allow for the breakthrough, right? So when you always want to see the good in people, first of all, know that manipulative people bank on and prey on these type of tendencies. They need people in the world that are just way too open to wanting to see the good in people. Because when you want to see the good in people, there's a part of you that doesn't want to see the bad in people. All right. And psychologically, whether this is subconscious or consciously, there's reasons for that as well. If you're someone that has been abused, you might be triggered by even thinking of this person in a bad way. So as a self-protection, you might have somewhat of an avoidance to conflict. You have somewhat of an avoidance to being out of your comfort zone. And you don't want to see those bad things because you know how it doesn't feel good. And this is on a subconscious level. This may not be your angle, but it could definitely be somebody's angle. All right. So when we think about just always wanting to see the good in people, another point to think about is wanting to see the good in people versus should you see the good in people. A want is not always a need, and that want versus the need could be looked at as feelings versus facts. So I feel like I want to do this, but the facts are, what are the patterns? What are the evidence? What is the support? So living in this type of world where you want to see the good in people is really negating reality in some instances. It's creating a false reality, which makes you really prime for living in someone's illusions and delusions. Because what's been actually proven, and what has this person really earned for you to have this perception? And this is actually what makes, it's like a toxic empath trait, basically. And it makes you really prime for narcissistic abuse because you already coming into the picture wanting to see the good in someone, whether they're actually good or not. Do you know how many predators and abusers and manipulative people can slip through the cracks when you're in that type of mind frame? Because wanting to see the good in people, it could be a rejection or a shared disregard for other people's shadow side. And as the person said, it comes back to burn them every time. All right. It's emotionally immature. Yes, it is. And it is naive. And it's running over feelings versus facts. This can be self-sabotaging, and it can be setting yourself up for a letdown, and it can keep you stuck in cycles of abuse because you're wearing these rosy colored glasses. You're in resistance to the truth because you want to see it the way you want to see it. All right. And along those lines, you guys, this is a little controlling. You know, you're not doing it consciously. You're not doing this to try to hurt yourself or others, but it is controlling. And it's controlling over something you actually have no control over, which is other people. You know, you have to let people be who they are and let them show you who they are without your biases so that you can make a clear decision on actually who this person is. You know, yes, you want to see the good in the person, but what's actually being shown here? I wanted to see the good, but it doesn't jade me to the point where I can't see what it actually is. And that's the imbalance that comes back to bite this person. Because then you'll take the actual facts and the evidence and you'll minimize them or completely disregard them or interpret them into something that it's not. All right. And then people who want to see the good in others, it sets you up for unrealistic expectations of others because everybody is flawed and imperfect, period. So just wanting to see the good, like I said, it negates the realistic human qualities that people come with. And then when we go up the scale and we're talking about abusive and manipulative people, and, you know, that's why I said it could put you in a dangerous situation because you don't want to minimize those people. It's one thing to do this. Well, you know, typical ordinary people who aren't narcissistic and psychopathic and sociopath. And, you know, the damages may not be as great, but doing this with people, you know, it's kind of like this person served their time. And yes, they did. They did. But if someone has a track record, they need to prove to you that that's not the case. If you're even willing to engage in that relationship, but it needs to be with some type of safeguard. Something else that dawned on me when just meditating on this in a therapeutic way is subconsciously you could have been groomed this way through past gaslighting. You know, you've been in other abusive situations where people weren't taking accountability. They were denying that they were doing stuff. And they kept, even though no matter how bad they were telling you how good they were. You know, this is something that could have happened as a kid, and it's programming you to always see the good in somebody. That's something that could happen. And then that's along the lines of Stockholm Syndrome as well. So along the lines of this, of course, being a toxic empathic trait is self-sabotaging to what an empath actually wants to do, because you can't help what you can't acknowledge at the same token. So if you only want to see the good, you're not really even seeing the shadow side until it's punching you in the face. And at that point, you're in complete defense mode, even if you even have time to get in a defensive space, where people aren't blindsiding you and ambushing you with their betrayals. And that's if you were even called to be the one to intervene and acknowledge and, be a catalyst to help someone be better where they're not, because often it's not even our calling. Like, we weren't called to do that or put ourselves for the front line to do that. And a toxic empath will do it because they want to see the good. It'll give you a false illusion of being able to take on a toxic person and everything that they come with when you can't. And that's the draining and overwhelming part that comes with it, because now you're giving your energy to a source and you don't even realize how much energy you're dumping into it. And it's a bucket with holes in it, and it's never going to be enough because you're not even really addressing how much it's really costing you. Okay. Subconsciously, when people are looking to see the good in people, they could be secretly hoping to lead by example. And that's dangerous as well. Trying to train others how to treat you. Like, I rub your back, you rub mine. If I'm being good to you, you'll be good back to me. No, there are people where actually you could be good to them and they just take it and run off and devalue it and not appreciate it, not even acknowledge it, put it down, as a matter of fact. So, we can't create this land where we're just running around seeing the good in everybody and not, the facts of the matter, basically. I also believe, in a psychological sense, when people are always wanting to see the good in others, that it creates a false sense of security, a false sense of peace and balance in your relationships. It's seeking to feel better and have more confidence, but in a false sense. It's giving a false sense of these things, especially if whatever you're seeing good in them, if it's not the actual reality of things. It's setting you up to enable poor behavior. And be an enabler at that point, because we'll be minimizing and be blindsided and completely blind to what's going on. Another thing that's going on here, you guys, is someone that will be more prone to be too patient and too non-judgmental in a situation, and definitely too accepting. So, it's a lot of things on a plate right now that could be going on. It's also an indication of someone that may be already overly invested into a relationship. Already overly invested. If you're to the point where I just want to see the good in you. I don't want to see the reality. I'm not really I want to see it the way I want to see it. I'm already overly invested in this relationship being a certain way. Overly invested. Invested is one thing. Overly invested is another. When someone is in an energy of always wanting to see the good in others, it can also put you in a space of ignoring a person's past and not giving it enough weight. And basically the writing on the wall. It could make you have too much of a positive mindset. Yeah, too much of anything is not good. There is such a thing as being or having too much of a positive mindset. Because everything in the world is minimally has a duality, minimally. So if you're having too much of a positive mindset, you're going to be overly confident in your abilities or overly confident in this person without really running off of the facts. So now, again, we're not rooted in reality. So what should we be doing, you guys? We should actually be getting to know someone void of our biases and let them show you and let them prove to you. Especially if this person has a past pattern, let them prove it's no longer the case. So what type of questions can you ask yourself if you find yourself to be one of these type of people that want to see the good in others? I feel this way, but what is actually happening? Another question could be, what is causing me to feel this way? What is that based off of? So you can check yourself and your own emotional maturity. If you have this issue, it doesn't have to, continue to be this thing that's setting you up to get burned and sabotage left and right. If with self-awareness, you could actually just intercept yourself on this. If you take your time in approaching people in situations and deal with yourself as you're doing it. A mantra that I came up with to help with this type of scenario for people who always want to see the good in others is, it's okay for people to be bad. And it's okay for me not to be with bad people. Okay. All right, you guys. So that was a quick session. These sessions will be, I guess it'll be as long as it needs to be. But I hope that this is, giving someone something to think about that always wants to see the good in others. The last thing you want to do is see the good in a predator. The last thing that you want to do is continuously drain yourself and misuse your precious energy. Because then the sources that really deserve your energy, they're going to be deprived. And that first source is yourself. Okay. This is something that could definitely be cured. This isn't something that, anybody has to be stuck with forever. It's just a matter of doing the work, having this self-awareness and being able to intercept yourself socially when you're approaching others and starting relationships and getting to know people. Actually vet people. Let them show you who they are. Don't jump to conclusions. And it's okay if it's not good, because you can protect yourself and not participate. And hopefully it doesn't trigger another toxic empath trait of you trying to fix others where you're not called to fix others. People can be on their journey and be completely ignorant and lost and in the wilderness. You can pray for them, at a distance. You can love people at a distance. It doesn't have to become your problem. Because that's the other thing that, tends to go along with always wanting to see the good in people. Bad people end up staying in your life way too long. Abusive people that are using you and manipulating you right in front of your face. Just because instead of taking the obvious reason for their behavior, you'll twist it into something positive and acceptable, which will keep you, in these cycles of abuse. All right. So I hope that this helps somebody. I just wanted to hop on. I'm feeling very much tapped in right now. So you just don't know when I'm going to come on the channel. So if you have shadow work to do, or you're a psychology junkie like myself, or you're healing from narcissistic abuse, anything along those lines and more, healing your inner childhood wounds, definitely subscribe, share, like the video so that other people can get the help as well. And I don't have a schedule. I come on here sporadically. Once I read the comment, all the information just came to me, and I won't sit on it. I'll just move on it. Live chats will help me stay connected with you guys. So I'll be doing these therapy sessions as they come up, and I hope it helps someone. Rewatch, listen to them, take notes, self-reflect on yourself, be honest with yourself, and as always, let the information help you on your journey. All right, you guys, take care. I love you, and I will definitely see you in the next upload or the next live chat at this point.